All right, we are live. Hopefully, I'm not botting. And I actually don't have. Let's see here. I need to check real quick. If I'm botting, this sucks because it's a Discord issue. All right, we are live. Hopefully, I'm not botting. And I actually don't have. All right, yeah. So it sounds like it's working now, guys. Sounds like. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. I just started botting apparently. Yeah, Buck Rogers says 2 rants in one day. Yes, that's 2 rants in one day. But we are live. Woo! Another Brap rant. Born Distraction says works now. Somebody in the live chat in the previous rant that didn't work out so well said nice PC build or something. That was actually pretty funny. But yeah, I wanted to do a quick rant because it seems like there's rumblings, rumors, if you will, that Microsoft may acquire Bethesda Games or ZeniMax. ZeniMax is the parent company, the holding company. They're worth about $4 billion. They're the parent company. Under ZeniMax is Bethesda, Softworks, Bethesda Game Studios, other studios like Arcane, and what's up, Buck Rogers? So, give me a sec here, guys. Mez, what's going on, man? Rico Dennis, Born Distracted. I'm not going to rant about my PC build. What's up, Salty, Mr. Enrique Robatos? The Almighty Microsoft purchasing them makes sense. Yeah, so I want to do a quick rant because there's always a lot of like conversation around who Microsoft's going to buy. And look, I get Microsoft's $1 trillion dollar company, and everyone's like, oh, they can buy anyone. Well, here's a couple things. It's funny when people say they can buy everyone because, in theory, they have the money to buy everyone. But we also have to remember these studios have to want to be bought as well. Recently, Microsoft tried to buy Platinum Games, and Platinum decided to take an investment from Tencent to stay independent and be able to work on multiple projects. And so, that's the thing. I mean, yeah, Microsoft has all the money in the world. And the Xbox division, by the way, does not have an open check book as they did with the OG Xbox. They, have to go and Phil would have to go and get permission to buy studios and kind of make a business case. Salty, I'm drinking coffee as well. But Josh, what's going on, man? Josh Soul's in the house. Saltiest Gaming in the house. The Almighty Spartan Gods in the house. Microsoft would need to. What's up, Forte? Can you hear me? I don't know if Forte can hear me.
What's up, bro? I heard you botting.
Oh, dude, I was botting bad, son.
What?
I was like,
bro, I was listening. Is this a transformer?
Oh my god, was it that bad?
Oh, bro, you was like, He's pretty bad, bro.
Well, you know what? So here's the thing. Like my 10-year-old has like 4 friends over, right? And they're playing on the Xbox, so they're using bandwidth there. Then my son's on the Nintendo Switch. Then my daughter's watching Octonauts. She's streaming that. So I think I had it on ultra low latency, and I don't know if that maybe did it. But I just put it back to normal latency for right now. That seemed to do.
Don't you got Comcast?
Yeah, but I only have you got to remember, I'm uploading. I only have 17.
Yeah, but you don't have. Don't you got the X5, the newest router?
Yeah, I do. The one that looks like the Series X.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that. Comcast.
So you can go in and I don't. You ain't done this yet. You can go in there and adjust the bandwidth to different devices in his house.
I never knew you could do that.
Yeah, I have literally because I have my daughter. She plays on my other Xbox next. My wife has her iPad that she's always watching stuff on, and my youngest daughter's always watching YouTube on her phone. So I literally have those devices set to take the least amount of bandwidth just to give them the experience they need, so it doesn't impact the rest of my network.
Oh, okay. I see what you.
So and then you can even set it by time delay. So certain times a day, you can give them more bandwidth. So like say if you're like at work or something, you set it to give them as much as they need. But when you know you're doing stuff on your computer or work related, you can have it set so that stuff doesn't impact you as much because you're the one that needs it most.
Okay, I need to look into that. I didn't know you could prioritize bandwidth like that. I had a router. I had a D-Link router that was back when I had FiOS. That I used to prioritize. And actually, it would actually prioritize on itself when I went on Xbox. It would give priority to the Xbox and PlayStation when I was online. But that was already automatically set. If I was doing any kind of streaming.
This one just gives you a little bit. It gives you more customization to where things go.
But I don't think because I'm streaming though, I'm uploading, so it shouldn't.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's still bandwidth.
Okay.
Either coming or going.
All right. Well, you know what? I got to be honest with you. I have a 600 meg download and 17 meg upload. Jeez. And
I got 450.
I hate Comcast, man. I'm not a big fan. Like, don't get me wrong, like Forte, I like their interface. Their interface is miles ahead of FiOS. At least when I had FiOS. I don't know if FiOS has changed their user interface, and I just feel like Comcast in that regard is a little more robust with their UI and their Xfinity app on the phone, being able to access the X-Fi Wi-Fi router. But outside of that, their uploads are doo-doo. And when I've asked them about it, I'm like, why are your uploads so low? They're like, oh, well, nobody really uses upload. Most people download. I'm like, that's not true.
I don't know what the heck what world they living in.
Yeah,
upload is king.
Yeah, I mean
that's yeah. But let's don't let Comcast highlight your brand.
Don't let what?
You said what?
I didn't hear what you said. Don't let Comcast.
No, I said don't let Comcast highlight your brand. Hijack your brand.
No, I won't, man. So hey, you like the clickbait, huh? You see that Microsoft acquiring Bethesda?
I had to oh Lord, look, this man turned crap game version 2.
Oh, come on, man.
No, you ain't that bad. I don't even think Crap made a video in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I hope he's okay, man. Like, I haven't heard from him in a while,
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny when you don't see people. It's like, man, some of the stuff irritated me, but I hope he's okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, me too, man.
You might have been a Kobe Bryant fan. You never know.
Crap, if you're listening, hope you're okay. I know Mooch said he was, getting ready to get married or something, and so I think he was. Yeah, man.
Might have changed his priority a lot.
Yeah, when you get a lady in your life, hey, you know how it is.
When it gets down to the getting down, man, she takes priority.
Yeah, you want to whisper those sweet nothings like, "Hey, baby, what's going on? It's Jay Fonz. I'm here to make you moist."
No. Hey, I will tell you, I am very proud of making that announcement on Crossfire yesterday that you are officially not a drunk, that everybody shouldn't believe it.
Yeah, well, because I had people
I can imagine it was like kind of a running joke at a point where everybody might start.
Forte, I had people in other chats, like when I was like guesting on other podcasts, that were like, "Oh, I hope E's drunk." I'm like, "What?" He's funny. I'm like, "Nah, that's not how I roll, son. That's not me." Like I don't,
I don't know, man. You might want to. Basement radio podcast. That's like man cave. You think about a guy in his man cave putting his feet up on the table. Drinking a brew and stuff. You might want to just throw like a Michelob Light or something on your banner.
You wild, man.
It might add a lot more engagement to the channel just because.
Nah, I'm not gonna do that.
You might want to double down on that. Nah, man. I'm glad you did that though, because I have been, even on Twitter, like whenever a podcast go like, "Yeah, man, I hope Enrique drunk." It's like that dude's not really a drunk. We play it.
Yo, but people I think that show on Crossfire that night, people were actually
that was
entertained.
A big show.
People were entertained. And I'm like, look, man, I'm not a clown. I'm not here to entertain. You know what I mean? Like, look, I'm here to entertain, but not like that. Not on my own. You ain't
trying to be the next version of OBJ, man.
Nah, dude. By the way, big shout out to OBJ, who was on Weapon Wheel. Big shout out to BG and all the guys at Weapon Wheel. But I don't think Weapon Wheel's ready for OBJ.
No, not at that.
Yo, OBJ. Yo, we had OBJ on, and he was hilarious. He was hilarious. But I don't think they're ready, man. I don't think Press Start podcast
Press
was ready
Start know
either.
what they were. Alex didn't know what he was getting.
Hey, big shout out to Kofi and all those dudes. But we've had Kofi and J-Man on, and we've had Jack Move Johnny on Brap. But I gotta say, man, like when Alex started talking like that, I said, Alex, you just opened Pandora's box. You have no idea what you just walked into, and sure enough,
Still laugh. I still die. Watch.
Oh, me too,
It's
man.
funny.
I'm in tears,
So-
man.
So what's up with this whole Microsoft and what you in here complaining about doing?
So here's the thing, man. So there's always rumors about Microsoft acquiring this company or that company. And look, I don't have any doubt, Forte, and let me know if you agree or not, but I don't have any doubt that they're gonna go out and buy more studios because they need to feed the beast, and the beast is Game Pass.
Yep, sure do.
And the way you get people into Game Pass isn't just dropping like games like Yakuza and Devil May Cry. Those are great additions, by the way. A Plague's Tale, by the way. If you haven't played A Plague's Tale, and you have Game Pass. Yeah, wouldn't you agree, Forte? It's a must pick up.
No, it was really good. I started it last night after got like 2 hours out of the way. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I played it on PC, so I was like, I wonder what this looks like on Xbox. And I downloaded it, and I'm going to see what the difference is when I get.
I'm sure the difference is,
Probably texture.
Those textures, yeah.
Stuff.
Like the player animation, the character animation, the faces are so detailed.
Yeah, they
during
are.
those cutscenes, man. And I'm like, yo, this is like next gen. This is what I think people are going to see. What we're seeing with higher textures, higher graphical fidelity, higher frames. I think this is the kind of stuff people are going to see on these new consoles.
I agree.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I definitely pick up Plague's Tale. Children Morta's on there. I heard that's pretty good too. Salty's Gaming says Plague Tale Innocence is great. But yeah, so there's always those rumors, and they got to feed the beast. They got, and I think in order, like anything else, like I know people are like, well, they're putting games on Game Pass, and I think Microsoft. I think we talked about this on Crossfire. The Xbox division is really kind of mirroring the philosophy or the identity of Microsoft as a company. I mean, Microsoft is a software as a services company now, right?
Right. That's all I've been telling people for the longest.
Yeah. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? Like I hear people say, "Oh, well, they're not going to sell consoles," and I'm like, they care about it, but they kind of don't. Like they want people in that Xbox isn't a hardware platform per se anymore. It is more of a ecosystem.
Yeah, the only hardware that they really push is, I mean, to the extent like anything is really, I mean, Xbox they still push to make hardware, but Surface is the only other thing. Surface is probably their more successful hardware that they have out there because of just how much they iterate on that thing, release, and then all the peripherals they make for that. So I think Surface and the Xbox brand are pretty much very similar to each other, but it's just the fact that services are the thing that drives Microsoft when it comes to like all their revenue. I mean, their revenue, like if you look at that revenue report, 27% up that includes with Xbox and everything. That's like the biggest gains they had over the whole quarter, just in services and stuff like that, which is pretty crazy to let you know. But that's their competency right there. That's what they're good at.
Yeah, and why not as a company play to your strengths? I mean, that's to me it's a no-brainer. And Microsoft, I think Xbox fits better under that Microsoft umbrella as kind of taking this route of going kind of software as a services or more services focused. for the Xbox platform. And look, I don't have any issue with it. I know people are like, oh my God, it's it's bad. I don't think it's bad. But I do think that the one possible benefit of the focus of Game Pass is that, and I think one of the reasons why they have acquired a lot of new first party studios. Dude, how do we get 4 down likes? Come on, guys. How do we get 4 down likes? Forte's here.
Well, no, that might be got him.
Guys, please hit that like button, retweet the link that I dropped in the live chat. I really appreciate it, guys. But it's it makes sense that they acquire these studios. Well, in part because I think that's obviously a weakness for them, but also in part I think to bolster the content, that exclusive content that's going to be in Game Pass. Like exclusives, whether it's hardware or whether it's services based, are still important because you want to drive people. Just like Disney has exclusive content, Netflix has exclusive content. You want to drive, people to go to your services by, not just third party, timed, content, but also like those day and date exclusive. Damn, now we got 4 dislikes. 4 more. I mean, now we got 8 dislikes. What, Forte?
Oh, they doing that on purpose. You got some people in the chat that just don't like.
Yeah, that's okay though.
Hey, but guess what? Guess what though? There's a Linus Texas always says in his video, if you like the content, hit the up button. If you hate it, hit the down button. Guess what? It's still engagement. It doesn't matter. They like it or they hate it. They gave you engagement.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? Actually, the dislike button doesn't actually hurt the channel.
It doesn't.
No.
It really does not hurt the channel at all. Your impressions on a channel. People don't realize the best way to hate, basically not support a YouTuber and say you don't like their content. Just don't click the video.
Yeah, don't watch. You're exactly right. Don't watch. Yeah. So Javier McCann says it was me. So dude. So So Forte, I'm gonna pose this question to you, sir. Imagine a world where Microsoft announces the acquisition
God, he just put
of
on his
Bethesda
video
Games.
game voice.
Imagine a world, Forte, where Microsoft acquires Bethesda Games ZeniMax Media and announces at E3. Imagine a world where fanboys' heads explode because of this announcement. Imagine the ripple effects sent through the gaming industry by this announcement of Microsoft acquiring Bethesda ZeniMax Studios. I'm sorry.
I don't know what the heck.
One day, man, you gotta be like, yo, there's something wrong with this dude.
It is something wrong with you. I officially came to the conclusion that everybody that's from DMV, with the exception of Spawn Wave, is probably crazy.
Oh, hey, you talk about your boy Slow-Mo, man. That's your brother.
Yeah, he is my brother, but he crazy too.
Oh man,
y'all crazy. I mean, OBJ is he's just the top of the pyramid. You guys ain't that far behind.
Oh wow. Big shout out to Slow-Mo Backslap, by the way, and OBJ the Don. But I mean, sir, imagine if Microsoft acquired ZeniMax, and think about that. I mean, think about how big of an acquisition that would be. You get ZeniMax. What's up, Boom? With Double Barrel Gaming's in the house. Imagine like ZeniMax Media being bought by Microsoft, and imagine the ripple effects. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. Let's think about this, Forte. Under ZeniMax Media is Bethesda, Softworks or Game Studios. We have Arcane. We have the other developers. Arcane is famous for what's the game? Why am I drawing a blank here? Dishonored. Is it Dishonored, Forte? I think we lost Forte. Forte, are you there? All right, so Arcane Studios has Dishonored. They have Prey, and obviously Bethesda has the Fallout franchise, Elder Scrolls. There's also Machine Games, id Software with Doom, Wolfenstein. Think about. I don't know. I think we lost Forte. Are you there, buddy? Did we? He's okay. He's muted himself. He may be at work, possibly, I guess. But just imagine, guys. Like, imagine like Doom being exclusive to Game Pass. Imagine Prey being exclusive to Game Pass. Imagine Dishonored being exclusive to Game Pass. Fallout exclusive to Game Pass. Imagine, and I forget their new IP that they're working on. Mr. Twist says Todd Howard's a Napoleon complex. Born Distract says maybe Forte shouldn't use Mike from GameStop. But imagine like all these games, these established IPs. Imagine that. Imagine the impact of Game Pass. Now, obviously, there's nothing official. Microsoft hasn't acquired Bethesda. I don't even know if that's a real thing. That's there's that rumor that's going on. Forte, what happened to you, man?
Oh, I had to go out on. I'm on lunch right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm at work, so I had somebody call me for something. I was like, "Oh, what's up?" It was just a customer wanting to yell at somebody.
Oh boy, were they asking for a discounted price on a? Was it a situation where they're buying a new game?
No, the website. No, the website shows that pre-order the Animal Crossing Switch. It says a certain price that you pre-order it at, but for like $10. So I just and there's no way to bypass that. Fortunately, I'm sorry. So I just gave them basically $1 go towards it, so they didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But got to make people happy. But man, we got a whole crap ton of those Animal Crossing pre-order. Nintendo know what they.
Yeah, Nintendo does know what they're doing, man. I mean, how many pre-orders do you have so far?
On those, like I think about 7, and they got announced today.
I'm sorry, how many do you have again?
Like 17.
Wow. And that was only 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
Is that
I just
good?
it's like I think it's like the 4th person today to pre-order, and they all pre-ordered the case with it because you can't pre-order that Switch without that case. That case was fire. I like that great.
I do like that case.
I'm a sucker for Carolina white blue, like what is it, teal green or whatever it is, aqua green,
something like that. Yeah, like aqua. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that color. So that's why I did it.
So Forte, imagine like Microsoft acquiring, ZeniMax Media. You have Arcane, you have id, you have all these studios that are making great games. Games like Prey, Dishonored, Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls Online. Imagine if that wrapped up into Game Pass. I gotta say, if Microsoft was able to pull something off like this, and I still think I love their studio acquisitions that they've made. Like I think. Obviously, Obsidian to me is probably the biggest acquisition.
It is by far.
Playground, I would probably put Playground up there, but just Obsidian, just given their pedigree and some of the other franchises they've worked on. But I feel like they need to make another big acquisition, a bit like something like a Bethesda. I'm not saying that Bethesda is for sale. DR Mighty Sparring God said Evil Within. Can you imagine though? What that impact would be if Microsoft went out on stage and said, hey, you know what, guys, we're buying ZeniMax Media.
That would be huge. I mean, at a certain point, but what the appeal of most of those games is the multiplat feature, because a lot of those well on multiplayer, not particularly on one game. I mean, having stuff like Skyrim, stuff like that under your umbrella would be a really, really cool thing. Fallout being exclusive, not being exclusive, but it really just comes down to how they're going to treat it. But with the whole wanting to have their games anywhere, I don't think that would be a problem. Microsoft just wants to have software in any places that they can, so that would be a game changer. I mean, that will significantly just build the portfolio even bigger. I mean, at this point, I think they have more studios than Sony. This would just destroy that whole argument. They're having games more, but you already know what the conversation is going to be. Microsoft can't build anything; they got to buy it.
You know what?
So
I gotta be honest with you. I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care either. Like
That's
that's
what I stopped caring about that a long time ago.
like
Think about it. The only franchise that they built themselves, I believe, is Fable. Fable and Forza are the only ones they built themselves. Everything else was either acquired. They acquired it. Halo was acquired. Minecraft was acquired. Gears of War was acquired. So Fable and Forza are the only ones they actually built themselves out of their own studio. So, you know, the success around Xbox has always been about acquisition. So that never bothered me because that's been.
no, it doesn't bother me either. It's like for me, it like whether or not they can build their own studios is so inconsequential to my enjoyment of gaming anyway. Like I don't care, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't, like, how does it impact me? It doesn't. You know, I mean, if you look at Sony, I mean, in the past, they had acquired studios too. You know, I mean, yeah, they Sony Santa Monica, they opened that, but I mean, you know, but they did acquire other studios in the past, like Naughty Dog. You know, so
Well, Naughty Dog was making games for Activision.
exactly.
You know,
Yep.
before they got bought by Sony. And even then, the dark years of Naughty Dog wasn't the Naughty Gods for a while. They didn't become that until Uncharted 2.
That is facts. That is facts. And Naughty Dog's been around like 30 years, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Exactly. I mean, think Insomniac Game. You know, same story. You know, they got acquired after they put out this banger called Spider-Man. But people forget that they made a bunch of other games. They were independent. They were independent the whole time, and they made all these different games. And each tried to make a game called Fuse that just flopped.
Yeah.
So all it takes is one game to change the fortunes of a company, and I think and then a studio like, well, not a studio, but a publisher like ZeniMax or the parent company having all those great IPs underneath them. You don't even have to. It's not even a risk at that point. It just depends on how much it costs to buy it out.
Exactly. And if they want to be bought too, that's the other thing. I always say that to people.
Well, that's one thing I'm going to always fight people over. If they want to be bought, everybody wants to be bought. It just depends on if you're willing to give the money it takes.
Yeah.
Everybody has a price tag at the top of their head.
You sound like the $1 Million Man.
No, that's the truth. I mean, dude,
everyone has a price.
Listen, Sony has a price. Sony has a price that Xbox actually hit. Well, not Xbox, but Microsoft itself can hit. If they gave them enough money, they can literally acquire all that. It just comes down to how much that's going to cost to do it, and if they're willing to do it. And that's the thing that most companies aren't willing to, because overall, what's the return on investment after a certain amount of, you know, things that go through? How much are you actually going to make back? You know, some people thought $2 billion for Minecraft was crazy. Now when you look at it, it's like, huh? They banking money on Minecraft at this point. Now they ain't paying that $2 billion anymore.
Well, and that's the thing, Forte. Like, it's not just the game Minecraft; it's the intellectual property and licensing and
all
everything.
The products put out.
Exactly. It's not just the game, and so I get that. I mean, that was a big acquisition for Microsoft. It's huge, but I think, like, again, and I'm not I'm not the expert here. Obviously, Phil Spencer knows what he's doing. At least we think he knows what he's doing. But I do think, though, they, like, for Game Pass, and I think if Microsoft wants to really, be very, very competitive in the marketplace, and I think Game Pass is going to be a big part of that. I think they need to acquire another big studio, man. I think they need to build that brand, like that recognition of, if you come to Game Pass, we got Bethesda for you. We got Obsidian, Ninja Theory. Some people like, I think Ninja Theory is a name that I think more hardcore gamers associate with. But and maybe even Obsidian, maybe some casuals or a larger group of gamers may know Obsidian because of their work with, like, Fallout Vegas and some of the other games they put out. But I mean, Bethesda, like, everyone knows Fallout, right?
What about buying out Activision?
They ain't gonna buy out Activision, man.
I'm just saying. What about buying out Activision, getting to call it the game that sold the most over the whole generation?
That would take a lot of money, man, to buy Activision.
Think about it like this, though. About like this. What about just buying it out to not buying them out, but buying it out to where they can get just Call of Duty put in game.
You mean like an exclusive deal?
An exclusive deal to get Call of Duty put in Game Pass, not to buy them out. Say, hey, what we're going to give you, put that game every.
Yeah, I mean that would be big. I think the challenge though that with that is
because all those people that normally pay the $60 a month for $60 a year for Call of Duty, and that they can instantly get it for $15 a month. I just see that as a game, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, the question is, I guess would be it. Would Activision be okay with that? Because now they're, Microsoft would have to drop the bag. It
depends on how much Microsoft. Yeah. Like I said, it all comes down to the price that Microsoft's willing to front them on the back end.
And then we also got to remember
they're losing a lot of money.
It needs to make sense for Microsoft. Like, is that investment of locking down? By the way, if that ever happened in like real life, I say real life, if that ever happened, Forte, people would be crazy.
It would be nuts.
People would be like. Yeah, people would be like, oh my God, this is anti-consumer. I'm like, yo, this ain't anti-consumer. This is capitalism, baby. So, but it would also have to make sense for Microsoft, though. Like the numbers, the amount of subscription, new subscribers or that subscription base would have to increase drastically enough, I think, for Microsoft for it to make sense to make that purchase. Do you see what I mean?
Well, that would have to be something, but the thing is, they would have to measure versus Call of Duty itself. So it couldn't be no promotions that month. It had to just be straight how much it is to actually get into Game Pass. So it won't be no $1 a month. It'll be 15 or 10, whatever version of the service you get into. And I won't even say it's for the whole year. I would just say, hey, make it exclusive on our platform for 3 months through the holiday. And then guess what? If people buy it on Xbox and play it on Xbox and say, hey, we're going to give you exclusive Call of Duty in Game Pass from October to January. So all the way through the holiday, basically to the beginning of the new year. And then they say,
thank you for calling GameStop.
And then you say after January, after it falls out of the service, you can get the game discounted. For the 10% or 20% off in Game Pass, so you'll get it for like $48, $44, and all your progress still transfers over.
Gotcha.
So when you look at it that way, people are paying 15 or 10 to 15 a month for 3 months, so that's $45. Microsoft gets their cut. Activision still gets the final sale at the end of it with a discount, and they're getting more people back into the Xbox ecosystem. And Microsoft probably paid them $500 million.
Woo!
But would that not drive people to Game Pass on Xbox next generation at the beginning of it if they can get a Series X, Call of Duty exclusive in Game Pass for the first 3 months, and all your stuff will transfer over after those 3 months if you buy the full game on Xbox? Tell me that wouldn't exist, especially the casual people that play Call of Duty.
I think it probably would. I mean, Mr. Twister says Brap 2 neutrals capping for Microsoft podcast. No, we're not capping. We're just having a conversation about if Microsoft acquires Bethesda or any other studio. Which, look, guys, it's probably going to happen. I mean, they need to feed that beast. They got to keep more content coming in and out of the service for Game Pass. So,
well, that's the reason they said that they want to have one to 2 games per quarter in there. That's why all these studios are very paramount to that, to achieving that goal. There's no mistake that the Ninja Theory is making 3 games right now. 1 game's coming out soon. Hellblade and Project Mars coming out later on. The initiative's more than likely working on multiple games. We don't know what we already know that Forza 8 or whatever the new Forza is far in development. So it's a bunch of games that's coming out, and Microsoft just has to find a way to stretch that content out, but not give you routes inside the Game Pass. But it also comes down to the relationships they make with third-party developers. Getting those games day and date in there, getting third-party games that have been out for probably a good 3 to 4 months, getting those in Game Pass. So those will all be really, really good indicators on how the service do, and they need to have that implemented by the time the system comes out, because that's going to be a selling system for people to want to upgrade their system on a system that's going to still play all the older games that you already have on your system.
Forte, they should hire you.
Oh man, well I'm in rare today. Because I was thinking about this for a while. You know, when I listen to all these different podcasts talking about this stuff, it makes sense. I understand what people are saying when it's like most people are talking with their feelings, but they're not talking like what makes actual business strategy, what actually makes a good conversation. You know, how do you actually bring people from another ecosystem? Me, I'm looking at how do I bring 25 million people back to Xbox? That's what I'm looking. I'm not trying to beat PlayStation. How do I bring those people back that left? What was the cause of? When they lost that Call of Duty licensing, the Call of Duty fan left Xbox. They went over to PlayStation. That's why you see all the tournaments and stuff over there. That's why you see all the exclusive stuff over there. That's when that was casual based. The NBA 2K fan, the Madden fan, the Call of Duty fan. How do you get them? Well, they already started one. They got Madden 20 exclusive to xCloud. That's in there. So what's the next step? How do you get more people in your ecosystem? I should say if you're truly about winning this generation, not just console sales, but just engaged and in the amount of attention your servers have, you go out there and say we're gonna put something like Call of Duty or do something like we're gonna get Bethesda Games there. They don't even have to buy. They can get the rights to Bethesda Games and Game Pass just like they do with Call of Duty. 3-month exclusivity over the holiday, just so you can get into the ecosystem and get those games instantly. And then if you want to buy those games at the months, you basically double dipped on. And that's all they have to. But I agree they need to get more studios in the service. And there will be another big announcement when it comes to an acquisition, because I don't think they've done. They've been talking about this for the last calendar year that there's another studio coming, or it's just been rumored that another studio's coming. So we'll hear something at E3 about this, but I think they just need to have this plan in place by the time X comes out, because right now, technically, there's no have to upgrade because all the games that are coming out are still going to be played on both systems. So it's going to come down to what message you're going to give people over the course of the next 6 to 7 months that's going to entice people to want to upgrade. And that's when that's the game, that's the shell game that's being played. All the different.
No, it's a great point, man. Like I agree with you. I think even third party like time exclusive, you drop it in Game Pass. I think that and do like some kind of special promotion if you sign up now, like they did with the $1 thing, something like that to tie in with, some kind of, time third-party deal that's coming into Game Pass. But Forte, we have the distinguished gentleman of gaming, Mr. Boomstick Boo. What is going on, my man? Dude?
Shout out to my other boss. Shout out to the other boss.
The other boss.
Good morning, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here. I saw this pop up on my timeline. I figured, you know what? I just finished having breakfast with the missus, and the dishes are clean. And before I run out, because I have a few errands to do, I figured I would jump on and address this excellent Microsoft topic that I saw. Boom,
dude. It is a pleasure to have you on, man. I'm glad that you could join us, man. And I don't know how much you've heard, but we're there's always that rumor of who Microsoft's going to acquire, and I threw Bethesda up there because I know that's kind of been a rumor. But I don't know if you heard this earlier, but I think Microsoft should make a big acquisition. Not that the other acquisitions haven't been big, but imagine like a ZeniMax and acquiring ZeniMax Media. Imagine the splash, if you will.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things that you have to take into account when you suggest such a thing. Okay, first of all, out of all the companies that are involved in gaming currently, they have the most market capital to spend. And if you recall, they spent, I want to make sure I'm not wrong on this, I think it was $2.3 billion with a B for Minecraft. That was one IP, right? That was just one IP that they spent that kind of money on. they have it. It's safe to assume. Again, I don't do their book, so I don't have no idea. But it's safe to assume that at the minimum, they've already made their money back, right? They've already made what they spent back. I would even dare say that they made their money back and then some. And again, not to sound like a boob or anything, it's easy to suggest such a thing because even to this day, Minecraft is in the top 10 MPDs every month, right? And so there's a reason for that. If they would somehow or another acquire something like a ZeniMax, I think that a purchase that big could logistically, and this is going to sound kind of fanboyish, but it's not. It could win them a generation before the generation starts. And the reason why I say that is because Microsoft could take this one or two ways. They could make, if they're pushing the envelope of we need consoles sold, they make all those games, those IPs exclusive. But because Microsoft does not have the same theories and ideologies as Sony, where, as you heard Jim Ryan suggest multiple times, with the PS5, they have to get that console in everyone's hands as quick as possible. Those are his words. So console sales are important to Sony, whereas Microsoft now, look what they did with Minecraft. Did they take Minecraft away from the Sony fans? Did they take it away from the Nintendo fans? No, they pushed it even harder. And they're making bank. Dude, when you look at how much monies is coming in from Microsoft software and services, it trounces even Sony's 106 million consoles sold. So if they did purchase a ZeniMax and they did get a hold of all these licenses, it's safe to assume once again that all of those games would not be exclusive. They would they would be available on all consoles because Microsoft would make money hand over fist. But here is where it gets interesting. Those games would probably, because Microsoft owns them, would fall directly in line with their Xbox GamePass thought process. So it would push the envelope on how many people would join this service, because think about this, or you're already getting all Microsoft's first party. You're already getting all their second party deals. You're getting these amazing third party deals that are coming in months after the title releases. Could you imagine getting all of Bethesda's games day and date into Game Pass? It would be madness.
Oh, it'd be huge. And I think, boom, from a marketing perspective, now you go out there and you say Game Pass, and you don't talk about games per se, but you talk about the studios you have. We have, and if it's ZeniMax, it's not just Bethesda, Fallout. We're talking about Arcane. We're talking about Doom. We're talking about Prey. We're talking about Dishonored. And we're talking about Wolfenstein. So it's not just the Fallout or and Elder Scrolls or an Elder Scrolls Online, but they could go out there and say, hey, you want all these games from ZeniMax day and date. You want Prey, you want the sequel to Dishonored 3, you want this, you want that. We had that for you for, I forget how much it is a month now because I lock my.
It's 15. It would be $15, but just think about what you'd be getting already without even trying to push a narrative. The $15 a month that we're all spending, that we all already have spent, or people that will join the service, with all these games, the amount of for me personally, last year I saved about maybe $400 on games that I would have purchased that I didn't have to, that were in Game Pass. I got my fill in, and they keep you saw the tweet, right, from Xbox Game Pass. It's going to be a really, 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 really great month. There's rumors that Resident Evil 2 is coming, Mortal Kombat 11 is coming. There's rumors of some other really big titles that came out during the holidays jumping in there. Again, imagine if you turn on you jump on the social media and you get a notification that Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Resident Evil 2, and Mortal Kombat 11 just was added to Game Pass. Oh, and Division 2 also. How do you beat that? This is one of my biggest beefs with Sony and Jim Ryan in the lead chair. He's never going to allow this to happen. And that is as a consumer, that kind of pisses me off, because I said this on the Xbox Factor podcast. anyone that joined, again, like Forte was just saying, there were a significant portion. I'm not talking about a few million. I'm talking about double-digit million Xbox 360 players and customers that left to go to Sony for price and power. And then, of course, Sony with their first party, it's a match made in heaven. Could you just imagine if they could somehow figure out a way, and I'm talking about Sony, to incorporate a Game Pass-esque service where all of their first-party games, because right now, even with the so-called, remember a couple of months ago, they said, we have 50% more people, in PS Now.
Yeah.
The problem with that is it's on paper. If you're an investor on paper, you're like, wow, we're really making money here. But it's not. It's barely even scratching 2 million customers that have that service. Guys, they have 106 million consoles in the world.
Yeah.
Right. They keep touting that number. We sold 106. Now it's 110. Now it's 159 million. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the numbers, they don't add up. Now, if you look at Microsoft, they just reported that 50% more increase in subs. There was some speculation, and you guys talked about this on going back a couple of months ago on one of your braps, that the rumored number was like 10-ish, right? 10 million customers. If they double that, even if they only quartered that, that's still 15 million customers that are paying $15 a month.
Yeah. But there is a flip side to the subscription service. Like it's you got to keep those people in that system, and that's why I think we'll see them acquire more studios, because they have to keep people into that service. Like I know people that only subscribe to Game Pass when a first party game drops, and then once they play that game they're out. So I think for them the challenge is putting out enough content to keep people engaged, or they're hoping when we and we talked a little bit about this on Crossfire, which calls it the gym membership business model, where you sign up for the gym and then you don't go, but you forget to cancel, and then they're still charging your credit card. But I think that the challenge there too is that you have to keep that level of engagement. You got to keep people coming back, and that's why I think and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I think an acquisition like Bethesda is one step in that direction of doing that. But I also think that they're going to acquire much smaller studios to keep that content cranking out, because you need to keep people from not leaving, in between the periods of, big exclusives. Because, me, like I use Game Pass, but I don't use it as much as some other people. But I definitely first party I use it for. I used it for Plague's Tale, but I think prior to Plague's Tale, the last game that I downloaded was, what was it? I think when Metro Exodus dropped, and I think that was the last time I used. So, and again, I'm a little bit different, because a lot of the games that are in Game Pass, a lot of them I've already played, and I'm not saying that there's no value there. I'm just saying for me, but I think that's the challenge too. Is how do we keep those people into the ecosystem, keep them from not unsubscribing? And I think you do that by making these big acquisitions and also acquiring some smaller studios, which we've seen them do. To your point about, Sony, I selfishly, I know people get upset if you say day and date for Sony. Honestly, that would be a win for me.
That would be a win for everyone. Not just you.
I mean,
and I've been banging that drum right along with you. In fact, I'll even take it further, dude. I think I would love for Nintendo, even if Nintendo went crazy and said, okay, boom, it's $30 a month, but you get all first party games every time we release one. Shit, I'm all in.
Yeah.
And that's pie in the sky, right?
That
there.
is pie in the sky.
When you try to buy I mean, obviously Forte is our inside man for GameStop. He'll tell you right live on the air. Nintendo doesn't drop the prices. I mean, right now, Breath of the Wild is $50 new.
Bro, Breath of the Wild dropped $149. That's the lowest.
Yeah, I was looking at Mario Rabbids, and it's $50 still. I'm like, what is going on?
That game drops third party game, but the thing is, Nintendo, it would be great something like that with Nintendo, but the fact that they can sell attached rates of 80% on their games is never going to for them until, like I said, until it gets to a point where Nintendo properties aren't the mainstay of a Nintendo system, that's going to be the time you see that actually happen. Because right now you're starting to see that on PlayStation, where first party, as much as they are covenant and they are the thing that tells differences between systems, the third party still generates the most revenue on those systems. So that's why Game Pass and PlayStation Now are such amazing things on those platforms. Sony just they just have it in their mind that they don't need a service like that to put day and date. But I think it's coming faster than anybody thinks it's coming, and people just need to start bracing themselves, because there was a time that Xbox people weren't ready for this. Xbox gamers were like, wait a minute, so my games are being devalued and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Well, after reading into it a little bit more and trying out the service and they say, man, this is a value. I don't have to spend all of this extra money if I don't want to, and I still get all these great games. Then you start thinking about the value versus your own self-opinion. And that's what I think PlayStation gamers need to start thinking about too, because it's going to happen, because Microsoft is making a push to show that this is going to be the future of services when it comes to video games, playing those on a larger scale.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if, and I hear people make that argument a lot, if Sony's going to do this. I think they're going to, as we know, Sony tends to be a little bit slower with adopting, certain features. I mean, if you look at like PlayStation, their online service compared from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 this generation, that's completely evolved. They've had PlayStation Now for a long time, but I don't think they've really done a good job marketing it. Like we talked about this on my BRAP rant last week, and I talked about this, like they need to do a better job of marketing it. I think for them, and my understanding is that they are one thing you're going to see, and people are going to get upset about, which is crazy, you're going to see first party on PC. That's going to happen.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, that's going to happen. That's another revenue source for Sony. They're going to do that. Apparently there's that rumor out there, guys. I don't know if you guys heard this about, on, I think it was Reddit or 4chan, where somebody was saying they received an email from Sony. It was a questionnaire asking how they feel about, Sony share play. I think on the Nintendo Switch.
The Switch, that's been confirmed, dude. That's an actual thing going around. An actual thing,
yeah. And so, like people think like Sony's going to be traditional Sony. I don't buy that. I think they're going to pivot at their own pace. But I think they're going to incorporate. And I think one of the reasons why we haven't heard from Sony just yet, they want to make sure whatever message they drop, and shout out to my man Optimus Code, but I picked up on a couple things, stealth that he was saying. I think we haven't heard from them because they're working on tailoring that new message. That
Benji Sales just dropped a tweet that has the internet completely on fire. Apparently, now the rumored event for February is no more.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Yeah,
I mean, listen, I'm going to say this. I mean, look, this again. Sony dominated this generation. You guys know that. Everybody in the chat knows that. No one's trying to take any wins away from them. But as a person who supports their console, who has every first-person game, which including, by the way, Death Stranding, which I'm about 5 hours into right now, and I'm actually enjoying it. I don't know why I'm enjoying it, because sometimes it seems like I'm just walking for days, but I'm enjoying it. So I buy all their first-party stuff. I kind of think that they've been catching a lot of L's lately, and and this is going back all the way to December 12th. It's been, and again, I love to see this because this kind of back and forth breeds one company to try and outdo the other. So competition is good for business, is good for the players, but Sony does not seem to have an answer. And that's a little weird, considering that in the past, with the people that used to be in charge, they would go out of their way that every time Microsoft announced something, they would announce something bigger to take the shine away from them. I mean, you guys, again, we've all talked about it on our shows, and they haven't done that yet. So my question is, what the hell is going on there?
I mean, I don't, and I've heard people say this. Look, honestly, I think like they're on their timeline, and they're gonna, I think when they're ready to release information about the PlayStation 5, they will. I mean, I know that. Obviously, they had that logo drop, which is probably a little underwhelming at CES this year. But
yeah,
But here's the thing, like even with that logo announcement, if you look at the social media, the reaction on social media, and what they've done in the past with dropping tweets and stuff, I mean, I think they're just probably in a position where they know, hey, you know what, we could stay silent, and as soon as we drop something, the mind share is going to be on us. Now, obviously, I think as gamers, and myself included, we're all want to know. I think we're all excited. I think we all want to know what PlayStation 5 is going to be. Like we heard, new features. Well, I kind of want to know what those new features are myself, right? I'm anxiously excited to see what the PlayStation 5 is going to be. But it's interesting. Like I think in some ways, like it's kind of interesting that we haven't heard from them, because that's not typically what we've seen from them in the past. But then I'm thinking perhaps, on their end, they may not be ready to, and they may have a timeline of when they're ready to release, information about the PlayStation 5 and have that set event. But I'm also wondering if anything has to do with the fact that they may, look, they're releasing 2 big games, AAA games, one in May and then I think one towards the end of the year. Maybe the mindset is, hey, we don't want to make an announcement because we don't want to potentially cannibalize or take attention away from, our big, last 2 IPs that are releasing in The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima.
And what I would agree with you mostly on that if they were going to E3, because then you could turn around and say, well, you know what? They're going to have a big E3 blowout. Yeah. And we're gonna see price, we're gonna see release date, we're gonna see what the console looks like, we're gonna see the new features. Jim Ryan's gonna get up there with a party horn, and it's gonna be a big parade.
And I hope Jim Ryan doesn't show with a party horn, man. I just had a vision of him for some reason with a party horn.
He doesn't look like the type, that's for sure. But I don't know, man. I mean, look, right now it's a little concerning simply because, you guys have heard this, and people have been talking about it. I want to know what the reworking exactly is. Like, what is Sony reworking? Because, obviously, I think I'm not a person that puts computers together, so I don't know. I'm not part of the master race, but could they make big changes to the PS5 this late if it's releasing at the end of the year? Could they change parts?
I mean, they did it last console generation. They did a reworking with the PlayStation 4, where they upgraded.
But that was all software based, I think.
No, they upgraded. They went to DDR5.
Oh, they did update. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what gave them the advantage, because actually before launch, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 5 had the exact same specs. Sony came in last minute and went to DDR5. And that's what kind of gave him that power edge.
Those 180p's.
Yeah, exactly. And rumor is that there's probably something like that going on. Rumor maybe a 2 terabyte hard drive, or that I think, I don't know, 2 terabyte hard drive or SSD. I don't remember. That's one of the rumers. Or
they more RAM. Technically at this stage in the game should come with a 2 terabyte. I'm sorry, it's just not enough.
I agree with that, Boom. But yeah, but it's interesting, like and kind of back to what I was saying with PlayStation Now. Selfishly as a gamer, look, if they came day and date, I'm not going to complain. And actually, if
I am going to be right there, and I'm going to buy years. You do what you do with what I did with Xbox GamePass. I'm paid up until the end of 2022, dude. Well, and that was and
no, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that, and that's the way to do it. When they have these sales where you're getting, 6 months for $30, you jump all over that. You know what I'm saying? You buy multiples until you can't buy anymore, because you're literally saving. Not only are you saving money on buying the games, you're actually saving money on the service.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, selfishly, because I like the game on PC. In case you didn't know, if Sony brought PlayStation Now to PC day and date, I'm all like, I'd be like, you know what, I'm not buying a PlayStation 5, and I'm cool with that. Like, I'm okay.
That's because you spent the money and you went out of your way to build yourself, a rig that could handle and actually perform better. And that's amazing. See, even if I had a rig right now sitting right in front of me, I probably, I mean, listen, at one point a couple of years ago, I had bought Josie and I Alienware laptops, gaming computers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they were great. They were amazing. But guess how many games I played on it? 0.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Not even. I wound up giving it to my brother. Actually, my brother Neo Mental. We gave him both of them because he builds computers. So he was like, what, take these, whatever. And for her birthday last year, I got her another Alienware. But me, I run the show off a Surface laptop. I'm okay with that. I got a Surface Pro 4. Has all the tools I need to make my keep the shows fresh and interesting. But I wouldn't even play on PC, even if I had a monster rig. I just want to sit on my couch and go and put on whatever it is, the PS5, the Xbox, whatever.
Yeah.
But for you and for a lot of people who are part of this master race, even though Forte, he has a nice PC. It's good, and you know what? That would save you $400 or $500 on buying consoles. But I just like the traditional. I'm like I said, man, I'm the old man in the room. What can I say?
No, I mean, my situation is a little bit different. Like I totally get that people want to. I would never, except for Mooch. I like to bust his chops because he's got a 2080 Ti, and he's like, oh, Enrique, I like the game on the couch. I'm like, dude, you got a 2080 Ti.
That's so Mooch.
And I'm like, come on, man. Like you. How about we swap PCs? How about that? But I mean, like, no, I get that. My situation is a little bit different. Like my PCs I actually have a dedicated gaming room. It's like the size of a bedroom. And I have that, and so I have a little couch. My desk is next to my couch. I can look at. So I mean, like, it's different for me. My setup is probably works a little bit better for me. But I would never, I would never fault anyone for wanting to game on the couch versus sitting in a chair. And hopefully you have a comfortable chair for your PC gamer, because that's super key important. Again, like I wouldn't be upset. Like if they came day and date, I don't think it's going to happen. I do think that they're going to take a kind of the approach that we're seeing now, where they sell games $50 or $60 retail. Those games hit their maturation point in retail, and then they dump it into PlayStation Now. Although I do think if they do dump them into PlayStation Now, they should keep them in PlayStation Now.
Yeah, there should be an expiration date, especially on their first party.
Exactly. Like God of War. Come on, it's like you made your money on it. It's like it's 2 years. 2 years old. I mean, leave it in PlayStation Now. Why take it out? And if you want more revenue, drop it on PC. So, but it's interesting. Like I'm definitely, with the whole PlayStation thing, with no announcement, I think people are just, it's funny. I think once they announce and we see this announcement, it's funny. I think a lot of people are going to forget some of the conversations we're having, and I think the focus is going to be like, oh my God, we saw the PlayStation 5 now, we saw games, now we know what to expect, and I do think.
Did you see that picture of the PS5, the one that looks like a box?
Are you talking about one that looks like the
It
Series
looked like a
X?
mini tower.
Yes, I did see that.
I got to be honest with you. First of all, I wouldn't mind if it looked like that.
I liked it
because I actually did like it myself, to be honest. And I don't know if you anyone on the chat or anyone on the panel experienced this. My wife surprised me, like ridiculously surprised me when God of War came out. She bought the God of War console for me, which was freaking ridiculous. And before that, I had a launch day PS4 Pro. It was so loud that my wife could hear it in the bedroom. Like the living room connects to the bedroom. When you walk around the corner, she could hear it. And it was so loud that when I was playing the games, it would literally pull me out of the experience because it was so freaking loud. With these new consoles, they're going to be generating a ridiculous amount of heat. I don't think that the PlayStation 5 is going to look like anything a PlayStation fan has ever had.
You know what? I mean, dude, and you know what, Boom, and I don't know. So Forte, if you saw that mock rendering, but I agree with you, man. Like I actually liked the way that looked. Like I wouldn't mind that. I don't even mind the Series X. I think the Series X looks like an Echo Dot, like the tower
Does.
dot or whatever it is.
And I like the fact that the top lights up. That it has the green in there. It's amazing.
Yeah, I actually heard that it doesn't light up. I forget who told me.
Okay,
that.
all right.
Yeah,
I thought that. All right. Well, even if it doesn't, I still like the design, and I like the design because I'm a guy that likes functionality. And I don't want to, you don't want a red ring of death situation.
No, you definitely don't want that. Hey, Boom, you know what looks real nice to consider as we're speaking of lights? The RGBs and PCs.
Yes, they do. I've seen some really wicked setups, man, that just that look amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I'm excited like for, go back to Game Pass, man. Like I just picked up Plague's Tale.
Oh, dude, that is so good, man. It's the first game I beat in 2020.
Oh, dude, that game is just I'm playing it on PC and it's just wow. I'm playing it like 80, 90 frames a second, ultra settings. Yeah. Oh my God. Like it's visually one of the more stunning games that I played on my computer. I'm just blown away.
It's crazy that game came out and did not get as much play as it should have.
Yeah. I do want to say something, Boom. Like and I see people arguing about this, like about Game Pass, and people only play games after they come to Game Pass, and they don't understand why people don't buy games.
Not everybody's rich, dude.
And I'm like, you know what? Like at the end of the day, like you know what? It's called consumer options. Like you look. I just got the $50 Ori 2 special edition, right? Nice. It's coming on Game Pass, but I paid $50 because I wanted the steel case book. I think it comes with a soundtrack, and I think an art book, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a very nice collector's edition.
Yeah, so but it's like sometimes people just don't have the means or want to buy a game. I mean, and I think and I don't think anyone should shame anyone for playing a game, in Game Pass if they, instead of playing it, day and date a retail release, you know what I mean? But I also think that, and I said this on Crossfire yesterday, I think that next generation is going to be interesting. I think we're going to see and this is what just my guess. I think the pie's so big, Boom, and you and I have been gaming for a long time, so we lived the death of the industry.
Yes, we did. We were there.
Which was a shame because I think at the time ColecoVision was kind of firing at all cylinders right around the time of the death of the I know everyone blames ET for the death of the industry, but
it's funny.
But that game was terrible. Even ET looked like a comma. It didn't even look like the alien, right?
It was actually pretty bad.
Yeah. But we've seen this industry grow so much, Boom, and I keep saying this, and I said this the other day, I think on Brad. I think like with next generation, I don't think there's necessarily going to be one right way to do things. I think that each of the big three are going to do, and even if you want to throw Google into the mix, I think each of them are going to play to their strengths and do and I think Sony will incorporate and do more things that people didn't anticipate that they would do, like more first party of PC. I think we're going to see more first party games, PlayStation Now, maybe not day and date right away. Maybe that comes later on in the console gen. But I think I think they can all be successful doing and playing to their own strengths. You know what I mean? I think Microsoft can be very successful with Game Pass. I think Sony can be successful doing what they're doing and incorporate new things to, like in terms of subscription type services. Obviously, I think with some of the internal hires they just hired somebody from Microsoft, as a matter of fact, to help with PlayStation Now. And I think Nintendo does what they do, and they're doing really well. But I only bring that point up, Boom and Forte, because at the end of the day, these consoles, I think the pie's so big enough now that they all can do their own things and give us unique experiences and still be successful, right? And I think they can deliver us great content. They can deliver us unique experiences. And I think at the end of the day, that's, to me as a gamer at least, that's all that matters. You know?
I mean, at the end of the day, isn't it about games? That's what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I care about.
I'm gonna say this though. I don't know. Again, being that you had put this up as a big Xbox topic, I kind of want to ask you guys' opinions on this. And we covered this on the Xbox Factor podcast, and this story went unchecked by a lot of the big media companies, which I was a little surprised. Now, the former chief marketing officer, his name is Jarrett West. He was the lead dog, so to speak, during the Xbox 360 heyday era, where the marketing on that side of the coin for Microsoft, they had the industry, locked down in an iron fist. Now, he originally had left towards the end of the Xbox 360, and he left in 2011 to become the vice president of digital marketing at American Express, and then from there he went on to take Netflix in new and crazy directions that they've never had before, and with him in charge, made the most money that this company has ever seen. Now, he just came back in December, in the beginning of December, I think it was December 1st, to take on. He's leading the charge in all of the marketing for the Xbox Series X and Game Pass. Now, again, this is complete speculation, but I just have to ask you guys this question. If you look back to December 12th with the announcement of the console, the name, what it looks like, and what the control looks like, followed by the Hellblade 2 reveal, and then everything they've done ever since then, this is my opinion. It seems as if they have become more aggressive. They have become more forward thinking. This is not the same Microsoft prior to December 12th. And it might be because this guy is now in charge again with the marketing.
Forte, you kind of been quiet for, I don't know. I think Forte's at work, so I don't know if he's still with us. Forte, you
might
still
be
there?
Playing Destiny.
No, he's actually at work right now. He was on his break when he joined me. He might be listening. I don't know. So, I'm sorry, Boom. What was your question again, man?
My question is, have you noticed a change in Microsoft's marketing since this guy came back to the company?
I have. I think that it's interesting. There was an article about them doing, and I think, Boom, you've talked about this on your show. They initially weren't going to announce the Series X at the Game Awards.
Yes, that is correct.
And they went to Phil Spencer with this idea. And I don't remember, did he initially reject the idea at first?
Yes, he did. He actually, I don't know if that's the place for it. And then he sat on it and said, you know what? I think we should do this.
Yeah, I think that was great. I mean, if marketing had some, obviously they came with the idea, but if they were also kind of pushing Phil a little bit, saying, Phil, let's think about this, let's blah, blah, blah. I'm sure they're probably presenting him with numbers too. Like, Phil, here are the number of people that watched, the award show last year. Here's what they're anticipating in terms of viewership this year. I mean, they're looking at data to make these decisions too. I would say, Boom, I agree with you. I think that marketing has changed, and I think it needed to change. I think that they needed to be a little more aggressive with their marketing. They needed to be kind of in, and I even think that maybe Game Pass marketing is kind of increased a little bit on social media. But I think that it's definitely changed, and I think that's good that it's changed because
they needed to.
They've had a messaging problem this generation.
Yeah, they did. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. So, Boom, I do need to wrap up this rant.
No problem.
I'm going to go watch Manchester United play at 12:30 today.
Excellent.
Yes, and I don't know.
I got a little running around to do anyway, but I just wanted to jump on. I hope that everyone in the chat enjoyed my opinions on today's BRAP rant. It's always a pleasure to work with you guys, and I look forward to being on the show in the future.
Yeah, man, we got to get you back on again sooner than later, man. It's been a while, and certainly appreciate you hopping in, Boom, and appreciate the $5 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Next time, just you know what, man. Next time, if you want, I got my phone next to me. Just shoot me a text message.
Well, listen, I have to. You support me, so it's the least I can do is support you. So
I appreciate it. Man.
This has been a lot of fun. Obviously we had a very nice turnout for no advertising, because when you go live and people come into your show, it's because people care about what you have to say. So thank everybody for coming out over here, and get ready, because Monday night's primetime gaming is going to be epic. It's going to be very, very Xbox heavy, and that's because our special guest is going to be the Xbox man himself, known as Tim Dog, and we are getting Cybernox to make his triumphant return. It's going to be a great show.
Please have Tim Dog scream.
Oh, no, that's one of the things. I've already talked to Tim about that. I'm like, Tim, the minute we cross 300, this isn't dealer, but I still need a roar. So he's going to do it.
Yeah. I can't do it the way Tim does, but that's awesome, man. Tim's a great guest. We had him on. Oh my God. We haven't had Tim on in a while. I need to get him back on too. I think we had him on like 2 years ago. But that's awesome. He's a great guest. So please, everyone, check out Double Bill Gaming. And check out the podcast on Monday, which Forte is a part of as well.
He is.
So,
your boy Forte in the building.
Oh, you're back.
I was always here. I was just, working at the same time, listening to you guys spill all this great knowledge that you talk about.
Thank you, Forte.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So, I may end up doing another rant maybe tomorrow.
Lord.
Only because of some of the conversation I'm seeing in the live chat about, this goes back to the whole thing. Can video games survive with a subscription-based service? But I think
we can. The sheer amount of people. Again, I know you got to go, but I just have to throw this out there. There's a stigmatism that's going on right now that somehow or another, every time a company signs up with Xbox Game Pass, they become bankrupt. You have to understand, in order to get a game into Game Pass, Microsoft has to write them a check. And when they're writing these checks, when I tell you, there are a lot of zeros added to these checks. And if
Devil May Cry 5 was $25 million or $20 million to get into Game Pass.
$50 million to get that game into Game Pass. You don't think Capcom was smiling, dancing to the bank with that check? Come on.
Here's what I say. Like, I understand the business. I understand if you want to talk about the business side of the industry. That's fine. I get that. And I'm open to having that conversation. But I think also we got to remember, as gamers, at the end of the day, that's Microsoft's problem. They need to figure that out, and again, I'm not saying that you can't have that conversation about the business side of it, because I think, as gamers, we're all interested in that side of the industry. But I got to do a brat brand about this because I can go on about it. I kind of have some of my own opinions on that, but I might have to do that tomorrow. I'm actually trying to do more brat rants on the weekend, believe it or not. So, but anyhow, boom, man. Thank you again, sir. Really appreciate it, man. Always a pleasure having you on. Definitely enjoy working with you, and looking forward to bunking with you at E3.
It's going to be a very interesting experience. It's I have one under my belt. I kind of know what to expect. There's a lot of walking, a lot of standing, and you must come prepared with lots of batteries, and you're working like crazy. I think I put out 30 plus pieces of content while I was there, including doing 3 live shows.
Oh my
God!
So
you're always working. Yeah. You're always working, and I want to at least double that. I want to at least put out 50 plus pieces of content. I'm doing a lot of exclusive stuff from the E3 floor for the Patreons, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. And Forte, man, thank you, dude, for joining. I know you're at work, man. I definitely appreciate it, man. All right, Forte's working.
Listen, gentlemen, I'm going to run. Thanks again for having me. Appreciate it very much. Forte, I'll see you Monday night. And, of course, Enrique, we will talk very soon.
All right, sounds good, my man. All right, everyone, the live chat, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us for an hour and some change. Definitely appreciate it. Always appreciate the support. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Unless I do a brap rant tomorrow, we'll see you next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the Mooch joining us as a special guest. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Peace.